Milwaukee Bucks. Good to see you, or for you to be with us, Kareem. So, give me an idea. How shocking are these comments to you? What's your reaction?
I'm kind of reminded of what happened with presidential candidate Romney when he was taped in a way that he wasn't aware that he was being taped. So his comments were a lot more candid than they would have been if he had known that the media was listening. So I think that's what happened to Mr. Sterling. He has a bad reputation as far as I'm concerned. You know, the cases that he lost about discriminating against blacks and Hispanics and people with children that wanted to rent some of his properties. Mm-hmm. You know, that was kind of like a milestone. And then we hear these comments. You know, I used to work for Mr. Sterling. I coached the Clippers for about 3 months in the year 2000. I know him. I know his voice. I'm not surprised by this very much, and that's really, I think, the most unfortunate part of this.
So wait a minute. You said you're not very surprised. Then you know him. You know the man. You know his voice as one who used to work for him. But along, those 3 months that you worked for him, did you ever hear these kinds of comments? Did you ever read from him that there was this kind of sentiment that these recordings seem to display?
None whatsoever. He was, for the most part, congenial. He invited me to his daughter's wedding. It wasn't like I felt shunned, but given what I heard him saying on this recording, if it works out that it's actual recording and it hasn't been doctored or anything, mm-hmm. and it seems to me that it hasn't. But so if it hasn't, this is we can't have this. It's a very offensive and repugnant attitude for someone to have, and for him to be an employer of so many people of color. It's kind of blows your mind.
Magic Johnson has said that Sterling should not be the Clippers owner anymore. He said that today during a pre-Clippers game show on ESPN. What do you think the NBA should or can do at this juncture?
Because, I don't know what the guidelines are here, because he owns the team. Mm-hmm. He was talking about his personal attitudes, and, it's very much ownership, and people, with regard to their businesses, their attitudes and what they do as business people sometimes are two different things. So I think that's, a very difficult thing for someone mm-hmm. in my position to really talk about, because who knows what's possible. But, maybe so many of the players get fined for things that they shouldn't say. You've had players that have said things that were anti-gay, mm-hmm. or racial slurs, or just things that when they mouth off and say something that they shouldn't say, and mm-hmm. they get fined by the league. But something has to be done. You can't have a situation like this. It's crazy. I mean, it's an indication that I think one of the players who plays for the Indianapolis Pacers said it best. David West. He said it's an indication that the plantation mentality is still alive and well in many of the people who own businesses here in the United States.
Mm. And before I let you go, Kareem, you know what it is to be in the playoff season. You've got 6 NBA titles yourself. So for these LA Clippers, for these players, for the coach, how do you suppose they are feeling? Do they want to continue playing? Do they feel like they have to continue playing for themselves, for the fans? But at the same time, how do they not be distracted by these reported comments from their owner and the attention that the team and the owner are receiving?
Well, they can't help but to be conflicted and distracted by all of this. Here they are, they're playing in the playoffs. They have a very good team. They have a chance to do very well. This is something they've dreamed about all of their lives since they were kids, and they started playing basketball and imagining themselves winning an NBA title. And now to find out that their owner is a bigot, that's kind of really be